Hi, I'm Lynn Bridgeford from the Aetherbios Clinic and Aetherbios Yoga, and today in our Quick and Easy series we're going to be looking about how to get some more movement and flexibility and relief in the hip joint. So you may need something to sit on, we'll do some standing, and also you may need a dressing gown cord or a belt or something for assistance. So join me in a moment. The hip joint is a very mobile joint. It moves in every different direction, and when it gets stiff and sore it can be very tricky to move. So we need to do some simple things, and these simple movements can help even if we've got flexibility in the hips. I have very flexible hips and they can feel stiff sometimes, and some of these very simple exercises help. We want to get some mobility in the hip joint, and we want to get the fluid flow and the elastic tissue flowing. So take the leg, hug it up towards you, keeping a nice straight spine. There'll be another version if you can't do this. So we're just going to do some little rotations. So little wiggles and rotations are really good for getting lubrication. It's sending a message into the joint. So make it as little as you like. And we're going to go the other way, going inwards. And just see how it feels, whether there's any noise. Start small because we just want to remind the joint to lubricate and get things moving. Now your movement may not be much, just be where you are. So little circles one way and the other, or bigger circles, and you may get a few noises, don't worry about it, as long as we're not creating pain. Take the other leg, hug it up, one might feel quite different to the other, and start with some little circles. One way and then the other. It's almost like just massaging inside the joint, reminding it to wake up, getting all that synovial fluid wakened up, and working with all the fascia, all the elastic tissue, all the ligaments in the joint. And again, if you want to go bigger, make sure you're stabilized on the other leg and just get that moving. Remember to have a little wiggle just to ease out any tension. If that was less than easy for you, or perhaps your knee doesn't bend, you could take a belt or a dressing gown cord underneath the leg and lift up and give some little circles that way and the other way, again as big or as small as you like. Just get some fluid movement and some elastic movement going. And the other side, we always want to use the core so that some of the core muscles attached to the hip bone. So we want to just allow that support to make the leg feel lighter. Another way to do it, if you can straighten your leg and keep the kneecap and thigh lifting and the knees and the toes pointing up to the ceiling, use your core, support the other side, and you can do some little movements one way and then the other with the straight leg. It gives a different kind of movement because the leg's further out, still keep it connected into the core. And again, you can go bigger or smaller, whatever feels good for you. And the other side, using the core, and just make little circles or bigger circles. Now that we've loosened up the joint a little bit, just got things flowing in there, then we have forwards, backwards, side to side movement. So we can do it standing, sitting, laying. So we generally want to stretch all the different areas of the muscles. If you're able to hug your knee up towards you, you can hold with the opposite hand and take the knee towards the other knee. So we're stretching all down the IT band. If you can go further, you can cross your foot over, lift up through the spine and gently stretch down the outer thigh. You can take the palm forwards, thumb in, wrap that around the top of the hip bone and gently turn the other way. We're looking for an ease, we're looking for a freedom. And the opposite way, we would take it out to the side. You may not go very far, you may not go very high, it doesn't matter. And if you can, you look the opposite way. We're relaxing here as much as we can to stretch the inner thigh. That's stretching the outer thigh, the IT band and the inner thigh. One side may be different to the other, so we're going to lift the knee up, bring it out to the side, look the opposite way. Make sure you breathe, keep your center line, come back. You can take the opposite hand, roll the thumb across the top of the thigh bone to get a little bit of stability there. And of course you can cross the foot over if you want more stretch down the IT band. We can do that same movement with a straight leg. It's a little heavier because the leg's out to the side. So you may not be up to this. If you are, keep the core working, draw the leg in, take it to the side, look the opposite way. Doesn't matter how far you go or how high it is. Keep that connection to the midline. Bring it in front, either take it towards the opposite leg or lift it up and over. You can take the other hand on top of the thigh bone, the femur, and come back and release. Often good to have a little wiggle in between. The other side, engaging the core, lift up, keep that leg as light as you can, take it to the side, look the opposite way. Even if you only go this far, stay in your limits. Bring it in front, take it towards the other knee or above it. You can take the hand on top of the thigh bone, stabilize in the hip joint, and release and have a little wiggle. So we looked at stretching the hip going across the body and out to the side. Now we're going to look at going front and back. I'm showing the sitting versions in case you're not able to stand, and it's also sometimes you'll be sitting at a desk and you might want to do a quick stretch. Make sure that you're stable, hold on to the chair or the bed, have the knee coming down to the floor, and if this arm is strong enough, just lift the foot up so that hip is dangling out down towards the floor, so it's giving a little bit of space. And you can gently move it. You can actively move it. I've only lifted up the foot to give space from the floor. So you go forwards and backwards. You can also make a few circles one way or the other way, and we're using the weight of the leg to give a bit of traction. You can go out to the diagonal and back, in a little, find the movements, and again little circles and release. And the other side, the beauty of sitting is you can get the weight of the leg giving a little bit of space in the joint, and you can either move it with your hand and have it a passive movement, or you can actively move the leg, and you can go side to side, little circles backwards and forwards. Find the angles that feel like they give some good movement to you. We can do all the same movements standing. If you want to stand on a step or on a block, that gives a little bit more space to the leg. We can go out to the side, we can go forwards and backwards, we can make circles, hold on to something if you need to, we can go diagonal. And if you stand on something, then you have that traction in the leg. It works just as well sitting down. I'm a big fan of the wiggle, so you can bring your feet apart, bend the knees a little, and have a good wiggle, get all the hips moving. Wiggle them side to side. You can wag a bit like a dog, get all those muscles moving and get some freedom in the joints. So that's just a few simple ways to get some movement in the hips wherever you are. Stay within your limits. When you push the body, it pushes back. So you want to find the point where there's space and get some gentle movement. Life is all about movement and flow, so even in a very stiff hip, a little bit of movement can start to ease things up and bring some good blood supply, fluid flow, and help to ease the elastic tissue. It's not going to help a serious problem, but it's going to help get things feeling a little better, and every bit of help we can take for ourselves is worthwhile. Thank you so much. That's Lynn Bridgeford, Aether Bios. Please subscribe, like, write in the comments below, and go across to my other channels. I have Instagram, Lynn Bridgeford. I have Facebook channels for the clinic, for the yoga, and interact with me on all the channels, and I would be happy to connect with you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much.